Okay, here we go. All right. Whoa! It's time for the patch notes. And time, actually, to do Badgers picks, too. So, since, like, they're doing a patch on a Monday, which is a super weird... Like, they don't ever do patch on a Monday. In case you've ever noticed, they typically do patch on Tuesdays, and the patch always goes live the day after... Like, that's just always how it works. And then occasionally they do like a Wednesday patch and it goes live on Thursday. But a Monday patch means I have to do patch notes and Badgers picks. So screw that. I'm going to do Badgers picks first, and then I'm going to do the patch. Right, Kyle? Right. Thank you. So to start things off, we'll do Badgers picks. It'll take like 2 seconds. We'll just mention the champions who are free. Obviously, you're already looking at them. We got Braum, Garen, Janna, Kassadin, Lucian, Nice. Nocturne, Twitch, Udyr, and Ziggs. So the 4 that I would play this week, let's start it off, obviously, with Garen. So the reason why I'm saying Garen, I know he's super straightforward. I still think he's still super strong is one of the big reasons. Like, he didn't have to see really any nerfs after the Juggernaut changes. And so I think a lot of people kind of forgot about him, but he's still really good. If you watched the stream the other day, I did get a pentakill with him, just spinning in circles, doing nothing. Really super easy. So play some Garen. Besides that, another champion I want to bring up, which Kyle's going to really like, is Kassadin. Right? You like the Kassadin. He likes the Kassadin.
I'm a big fan of Assassins.
Kassadin's been, I mean, if you can get out of the laning phase and just do fine, he's really, really strong right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gets some small tweaks in the future. We'll see, though. Kassadin's always messed with, nerfed up and down, so we'll see. Besides that, though, the next... I know he's getting nerfed in this patch. We will talk about it, but Lucian actually has found more strength with the new items and the new meta. He is a huge lane bully again, like he was when he first came out. So Lucian's quite strong. I know he's going to get nerfed. We'll talk about that, but he's still pretty good, so try him out. And then I'm going to also give a shout-out to Nocturne. He's going to be my 4th pick. So Nocturne's just incredibly stupid fun. In my opinion. The only downside I will say to Nocturne currently is if you do want to do the sated build, all sated builds right now are kind of crappy just because games are so fast. Now, when this changes, hopefully because of this patch, 5.23, that hopefully we won't see these rapid fire fast matches anymore. So hopefully you can start doing sated builds again, but just about every sated jungler is really bad because you can't actually stack fully and you're wasting time stacking. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle agrees. But yeah, if there's I'll put a box around these champions so you can click on these in the post video. I know this is live right now to all the people who are all live and dandy. But there'll be boxes around these. You can click these and they will take you to a build of those champions. Or worst case scenario, just go to the main front page of my channel and type in blank and build. It'll always pull up something. So thought we'd just get that out of the way before we jump into the patch nuts. So let us...
5.23.
5.23. So let's jump into those patch notes, shall we? All right, so first up, 5.23, there's a lot of fixing things in this patch. Lots of tweaks. Obviously, the first big patch for the preseason came through. We saw things that were really broken. We saw things that were really unfortunate, and they're going to start to tweak those. Now, to be honest, what happens when a patch comes out is there's a patch already lined up behind it that goes to the PBE. So if something was blatantly overpowered, it usually gets hot nerfed or hot fixed. But like for this patch, it's a little bit different because
we saw a few of those this last patch. Like Graves got hot nerfed.
Yeah, he did. But not everything gets a fix right away. Was
there one other champion that got a hot nerf? Hot nerf. Hot
I don't
patch?
know who else did get hot nerf patched. I don't know.
Continue, I'll find it.
Yeah, you look for it. But so what happens is they can't react to this in the next patch all the time immediately. So that is just one of the things that happens. So hopefully we'll start to see it happen in the next one. So when this goes live tomorrow, whatever hits the PBE on the same day, we'll hopefully get some big changes that might be missing in this patch. So first things first, we'll talk about champions. Illaoi will be released on this champ. On this patch.
Graves got nerfed, Kog'Maw got buffed.
That's right.
And they nerfed Warlord's Bloodlust, the Mastery, and Thunderlord's Decree.
Yes. Okay, so those were the hot fixes you may have missed. Yeah, Kog'Maw's win rate dropped to like 41% or something.
Because he's trash. He's trash compared to the other 80
Well, he doesn't
carries.
get to late game. There's no such thing as a late game right now. So
Yeah, because you have 15-second inhibitors.
yeah, and turrets with apparently 7 health. So, but yeah, so Illaoi will be out on this patch. She looks interesting. She looks like she can actually do quite a lot of damage in the right scenarios, but played incorrectly, it looks like she will do almost nothing. So I think this is going to be a very risk-reward champion. We'll see how it pans out. Future nerfs and buffs, we'll have to wait to see. But that's about all I'm going to say. You seen too much about Illaoi?
I actually haven't even
No? Okay.
seen the character model.
Kind of meh.
I'm a
I
baby.
actually don't like the model and I don't like the walk, but the rest of it seems interesting. So, but first off, we have Ashe. So they fixed the bug where all 5 arrows in a flurry shared the same critical strike status. Critical strikes now properly determined per individual arrow, so a fix there. Now correctly functions with Renan's Hurricane as well, and Hurricane now fires frost-colored bolts
Wow,
while Ranger's Focus is active. So some changes to Ashe. No
So a
damage
nerf
numbers,
and
though.
then a buff, kind of. But they're
Kinda.
just bug fixes.
Yeah, they're just mostly fixes.
Because if you critical hit on each one of the 5 shots, that's
Oh
huge.
my god, that'd be nuts.
Yeah.
I'd cry.
Aziz.
Aziz is next. So they smoothed out Azir's spellcasting when rapidly chaining abilities together, which honestly is a good change because if you are doing the Shurima slide, it is pretty helpful to have a very smooth Shurima slide.
The electric Shurima slide.
The electric Shurima now being done at weddings on the dance floor. And then on his Arise attack, moving to a position near an active soldier will check for the closest valid target by the soldier. So that's a little bit smarter for the soldiers, I suppose. Instead
This is
of
pretty much.
attacking
I
towards
would almost
him.
consider this just a bug tweak because that seems
Yeah.
like something that should be happening anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
So we can categorize this in our patchly Azir buff.
It's
bug
it's
fix.
not a patch without Azir. So Azir gets his weekly round of bug fixes.
Yeah.
Next, we have Bard. This is a pretty straightforward change. Makes sense. We'll see something similar down below. So Bard's chimes now begin to spawn at the 35-second mark instead of 50. Because they moved everything up 15 seconds, you should move that up, obviously, with your chimes. So little change to him. It means he can actually start collecting them at the appropriate time, which is nice for Bard.
I honestly think that they could, like, shave another like 15 seconds off the.
They
start
could
of
just
the
make
game.
it at game start. Who cares, in my opinion. So, but yeah.
Well, I mean, like they could shave like another 15 seconds off the start of the game. Like I really like the change because you actually get into games faster, and I felt like
Yep.
the early game was becoming stale. Like when it was a minute and 55 seconds anyway. The only time that you would ever invade is like when you were with like a normal squad kind of thing.
Yeah, so I've noticed the game does load faster just in general for everybody. I have noticed load times have gone down quite a bit.
Yes.
But for the occasional person who does have a problem getting into the game, having that extra time, though, is kind of helpful, so then they don't miss out on the first 2 levels if they can reconnect at like a minute 10 and then run to lane. You know, if
Yeah.
you did start the game at a minute, they would be a minute behind. So I like a little bit of time, but obviously we don't need tons. But the 15 seconds off, I do feel nice. I feel like the game starts a little bit better. So next on the patch, we have Caitlyn. This change is currently bugged and hasn't been implemented yet, but it'll be out on the next patch on 5.24. So this actually isn't going to happen yet, apparently.
So do we just skip it? Wait, will Q happen?
I don't think so. I think both of them are bugged. I don't think they'll apply the Caitlyn changes. We'll just cover it briefly. She's going to say boom headshot VO line way less, which is nice because, oh my god, she said it constantly.
Headshot.
Boom, headshot, headshot, headshot. And then Piltover Peacemaker, the damage fall off is being reduced, but that's actually a buff, meaning you have less of the damage falling off. So it's from 40% to 33%, which is good because I know a lot of people think she's quite strong, and she's good right now, but the fall off of 40% after target hit, just no damage really came through. So
they need to put a cap on the traps because 5 traps is just
yeah.
so.
Yeah. And
Kha'Zix's buffs.
Yeah, Kha'Zix is getting buffed. This is the first time he's seen a buff in, well, he got a little one like 5 patches ago, but it was pretty small. This patch is going to give him a little bit more armor. It's going to take his base armor up to 27, which is up from 24, and then Taste Their Feels, as I call it, instead of Taste Their Fear. The cost of its mana is going to go down by 5, makes it a little bit cheaper. It's not a huge change, but any little change for Kha'Zix is honestly a good thing.
As long as it's a buff, because he's super weak.
I don't know if he's super weak, but he did fall off. Yes.
Well, I
He's
mean, like his
not.
early game is just so shitty in the jungle, and that's the only place that you can play him really.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's just
it's because they nerfed the crap out of caster Kha'Zix in the mid lane. Remember when that was really popular?
the W
Yeah,
Kha'Zix.
they like stack up Manamune and go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So small buff to Kha'Zix. If you're a Kha'Zix player, this is really good news. Honestly, anything is just good for him. Also, that 5 armor is helpful on an early gank to just give you a little bit more stats.
5. That's 3.
3. That 3 armor is a little bit.
I was promised there would be no math.
I was math can sometimes be involved. It usually tricks the best of us, or just tricks us. So Lucian's next. Lucian, as you know, on my tier list was actually pretty low, but he was kind of meh. But what happened was with the changes in the last patch, and then the itemization and the way the game was going, actually really benefit Lucian. Because the only things Lucian was good at before all the changes was he was still okay at being a lane bully, but he never scaled that well. But with the new items, his scaling was good and his culling was even better. So he became actually quite strong last patch. So his base attack damage is being reduced by 2. Not a huge number, but by 2. And then on the culling, physical damage on it is going to be reduced both base and both total attack damage. Because right now the culling is just ripping people apart.
Wait, isn't it just going to do less base? Because it's now off of total attack damage instead of...
No. Instead of it being 40, 50, and 60 plus 0.25 bonus attack damage, it's 20, 35, 50 plus 0.2 total attack damage. So it's just all being scaled back. All of it. The whole thing.
Well, wait. No. It'll scale better when it gets into late game. Because the bonus damage is... Or like the flat damage is down, but it's now scaling off of total attack damage instead of bonus attack damage.
Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry. Total, yes.
So
Bonuses.
late game it will hit.
It'll
actually
hit
still pretty well, and early game it won't. Just take
so
someone
late game
from
it should
100 to
be
0.
so late game it should be fine. It should be
about the same,
yeah, it should be about the same.
in my estimation.
But it won't be
It won't be
I'm trying to think.
huge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember old school late game Lucian Ultimate anyways was kind of
Meh.
meh. It was just the early that was really the big problem.
Yeah. It'll be better than it was before, but
It'll definitely be way worse for the first 2 levels though.
Yes.
Way worse.
I'm glad they're nerfing Lucian because I've seen him way too much, and every single time you go up against him, he crushes you like a grape.
He has a lot. I mean, that level 6 culling plus the new items.
And Braum is just so prevalent that it's just like,
yeah, that's the duel
let's just
duel from hell.
try harder in normal games.
Yeah.
Just get out of here.
So
I'm salty.
you are salty.
All right.
Misfortune's next. Base health is being reduced from 578 to 530. Quite a bit, actually. And then on Strut, attack speed is being reduced when you activate it at later ranks. It's still the same early, but she's not going to get 120%, only up to 100. So, you know.
100% bonus attack speed is still really good, but
yeah.
yes, I can completely agree. It's
She's strong. And this isn't where I think she's strong. Obviously, taking health off of any champion makes their laning more difficult early on. But right now, Misfortune's ultimate, oh my god. So good.
Well,
So
this
much
actually
fun.
really hurts because her weakest point in the game is level 1. And what they just did is they made level 1 even weaker. So you should be able to push her out of lane before you hit 2. Like, not completely, but just put her on a defensive and like get some health gone.
Yeah.
So when she hits that 2, she doesn't just destroy your face in.
Yeah,
So
I just love her ultimate now, though. How many waves it goes.
I like the changes that they overall. I like the changes that they've done to the AD carries. I don't know. I think they're a little bit magoo.
We'll see.
They're in a weird spot.
They are. I think they're fine though for now. Mui Kaiser, Sir Hui. So let's just talk about Kaiser for a second. We saw him a little bit, but then we saw changes to the whole game, and we saw how much he got banned. So I feel like we either see him banned or not played. And honestly, I don't think he needs banned. I don't think nobody can capitalize on his stats, honestly, most of the time. Unless you're queuing with a friend and you're like really coordinated together. It's really hard to capitalize on how strong he actually is. With that said, there are some blatant things that need tweaked and shifted around. But to do some of them, you actually need a buff number. So it all looks really, really, really weird. I think he's going to be. I think Mordekaiser is your new Kassadin. From old school Kassadin, when they had to nerf him and buff him and nerf him, they couldn't figure out where he goes. I think that's new Mordekaiser. So let's talk about what's different. So off the bat, his attack range is being decreased by 25. So that's something. They've removed successive hits. They no longer deal higher damage from 139. Instead, the first and second hit deal equal damage, slightly less than the old second hit, with the third hit dealing double damage. So it's hard to talk through all these numbers, so just read them along with me. That would be fantastic. So instead of it being like that 4 to 20, then with the scaling of total attack damage and ability power, you're going to have 10 to 50 with just total attack damage and ability power numbers. But the second hit damage, instead of it being times 3, it will still maintain that first attack amount of damage and that same scaling. So these are exactly the same. And then on the third hit, it's going to do 20 to 100, and then the damage scaling is going to be higher. So yes, it won't successively get bigger, but the third one will still hit the hardest. So that's the part you have to take away. So that's the big change on his Q. So we'll see how well that works out for him. The other changes to him are going to be on his W with his Harvesters of Sorrow. Activation damage on it is going to be increased later but decreased earlier. Siphon of Destruction. Shield gain on health hit, 15% of maximum health, is not going to be that much. It's going to scale up to 25 instead of just being at 15, because 15 was actually a nerf originally onto the Hui Kaiser.
I'm going to reset my camera really quick. It's lagging out.
Yeah, I saw that. Ooh, it's cat. And then Children of the Grave. Fix a bug where Shield Decay would kick in while Children of the Grave is damaging an opponent. Fix a bug where Riley's Crystal Scepter applied the full 40% slow instead of the 20% for the Dragon basic attack. And now scales with rank 500, 575, 650. And then movement now scales 50, 0, or minus 50, 0, and 50 for the Dragon. So Dragon is way less powerful early too. And those are the big changes really to him. So,
Oh no, my Skype is on there. No! That's all right.
People know your name, Kyle.
Oh, shit, you just made a good point.
I know, got him. So overall, he's seeing what I can't call these nerfs.
I think they're
buffs.
just focused, like they're moving they're moving the stuff around so he's not so bursty, but he's gonna be healthier. Because I think the maximum health percent on the E is a huge deal, especially in late game.
Yeah.
And so like you're gonna be more of a brawler instead of just like that insta, like all you had, like you had one job and it was to get that third Q off on somebody.
Yeah.
Like on a squishy target, and then you basically win the fight. So I like what they're doing. It's a good change because it makes it not like so hit and miss. It makes him a little bit more reliable. So I think it's exactly what you're saying. He will be.
But there is some nerfs, though, specifically to Dragon, which was a hard thing to swallow early on in the game. So I can see how those are very good. Like, everybody knows I'm a Mord fan. That's a justifiable nerf.
To me, it's one of those things where, like, when there was a Mordekaiser in the game on the other team, you just, like, constantly have to put pressure on bottom and then basically deny him Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you beat Mordekaiser. And then, like, if he gets behind, you basically win.
Yeah.
So I think this will even him out a little bit, so if he falls behind, it's not game over. And I actually think these are really good changes. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I think they are good changes, too. I think the biggest thing, though, to take note of is I still don't think people play around him well. Or play him well.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily a big issue because, I mean, it is a big issue. The big issue is Mordekaiser's harder and more likely to not get played. Like, man, I used to stream playing Mordekaiser. Now I can't. I can't because I don't know who I'm going to get as a support. You know, because I do fan games when I stream, so I don't know who I'm getting as a support. And Mordekaiser in the bot lane is all about the Mordekaiser and support synergy and how well you can execute his early game. And if you can't do anything, it's really not beneficial for Mordekaiser. There's no reason to play him. So nobody really plays him because nobody has that really good synergy unless you're like really playing with friends. So
I actually really don't like the fact that they nerfed his range. I think his range is fine.
Yeah, I thought his range was fine too. I don't like that either. So we'll see if it gets changed. I'll keep an eye on Mord. But, I mean, he's still incredibly strong if you're super awesome. But
how many people are super awesome?
Yeah, it's difficult. So Next, we'll move on to Quinn. Quinn's also the next champion with the next largest change in the patch. Quinn, as you guys also know from my streams, is just an absolute menace.
A beast, you might say.
I make it look dirty, like real dirty. So first off, on her passive, base damage 15 to 105 at levels 1 through 18, instead of 1.5 total attack damage. It's 1.16, scaling up to 1.5 at level 18. So it's going to have a base damage, and then it will scale with level, instead of just having a high attack damage ratio at base. Does that make sense?
So it's a nerf.
It is technically a nerf early.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is her blinding assault. It is now blinding assault again. It was aerial assault before. So now it's going to be blinding assault. So it no longer deals increased damage based on your enemy's missing health, and it no longer refunds half the cooldown when it kills an enemy. Now it applies near sight to the first target hit for 2 seconds, removing allied vision and reducing its vision radius to 300. So it will like give them like a small coupling of what they see and reduce, right? Is that what?
Oh, so it's basically like a mini
like
Graves W.
Yeah, it's like a smoke screen.
So they're not actually blind. They're just if something's on their face, they'll still be able to see it.
I mean, if you hit them with it, they're not going to see you though.
Well, yeah, I understand.
You'll be out of range.
Like, I mean, like for like melee characters. So like if you get hit with that and like Malphite's on your face, like you're going to be able to see Malphite.
Yeah.
So it's just like a mini Graves W. I like that. That's a good change.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And then they just renamed tag team.
Yeah. So basically that's what they did. So, and the damage is different. Instead of 20 to 120, it's 25 to 145. The ratio on it is instead of 0.7 to 0.9 with a little bit of AP, it's actually higher. But you have to remember, as much as those look like buffs, it no longer deals increased damage based on their missing health. So she was actually losing a big chunk of damage. So adding a little damage to it actually makes it work a little bit better. So that's blinding assault now. And then yes, behind enemy lines is the name of tag team now. So
another bad change.
Another bad change for a name, but whatever.
Bring back Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat. Spray and pray.
Yeah, I agree. The next thing is Skarner. Similar to Bard, his crystal spires are now going to be unlocked at a minute 15 instead of a minute 30. It's that 15-second change to make more sense.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. It'll help him get to camps on time too.
I like it a lot.
Then next we have Zed. Zed is seeing buffs this patch, which, let's face it, confusing to most people, correct?
No.
Well, it's a joke.
Oh, okay. Touche, good sir. Touche.
Living Shadow. The maximum cast range is going to be increased by 100. The
so
minimum
farther.
Yeah. Minimum cast range can actually be closer at 350. And then missile speed is being increased by 250. So everything's faster, and it actually just has more range or less range. Like, it has more area it can affect. So that's the first thing. Now, the next one, which will help him with damage, is his Death Mark. The finisher damage of a damage dealt while marked is going to be higher earlier on. And then it'll be the same at late game. But instead of 20, 35, 50, it's 30, 40, 50.
That's a huge buff.
Yeah.
Because Zed's ultimate is actually really underwhelming at level 6, and you actually had to wait until you hit level 11 to really like get a good ultimate off. Like, obviously, you still get that 20% damage, but like it didn't feel really impactful until you hit level 11, and so you're basically almost getting level 11 ulti at level 6. So you should be able to all in people like LeBlanc fairly easily.
Yeah.
Like the squishier mid laners.
Yeah, but as long as you follow up on the marked target.
Correct.
Which is the big part, and that's what makes a good Zed from a bad Zed.
Yeah, because you see a whole bunch of people waste like half their energy with a W to get close.
Or like people put their ult on them, and then they're like, oh yeah, I got the Dot'em, and then they just jump back to their ult, and you're like, you didn't do any damage to them. It amplifies your
like
damage.
13 damage.
Yeah, because its base damage is not very high. And there's a reason for that, because you can apply as much damage to it as you want.
Mm-hmm.
So Zed will be getting a buff. And then next we have Zagillion. Right?
Yes.
Once again, his recommended items have been updated for both mage and support. And then now gives at least 50% of Zillion's banked experience. excess experience goes into the target's next level for time in a bottle. Okay. So, small change.
So you don't have to wait until. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it just kind of helps give out as much.
I haven't really played Zillion at all
Experience.
since they changed his passive, so I don't
Yeah,
even know if it's
I
that
don't. I haven't
impactful.
either. There's just no. I just don't feel like it. You know.
Yo,
There's
these
no
next
reason.
changes are awesome.
Oh man, these next changes we're gonna love it. Are we ready, guys? We ready? Are we ready? Attack range change is. So first off, Gnar is getting 25 more on Mega Gnar attack. That is not on his Mini Gnar. New is actually getting a little bit less. A little bit less, 12.5. Shyvana is getting a 50 increase. Scion is getting 25 increase. Tom Kench is actually getting a decrease of 25, which is pretty good. Trundle's getting an increase of 50, and Zac is getting an increase of 50. And most of these are, as you can see, are going down to 175.
I like the
Or going
the
to 175.
I like the Trundle and the Zac changes.
I like the Trundle and the Kench change to go down, and I like the Shyvana change to go up. I don't think she needs it, but I like it. So, I like these changes. It's nice to see some consistencies and some little changes for these champions. So,
Shyvana players drive me nuts. That's all I'm gonna say.
I drive Kyle nuts.
No, because you like are intelligent enough to like feel how game flow is going, and so like you don't always just build Devour.
I mostly do, but I know how to stack a dragon. If you're gonna build Devour right now, go take dragon at like 10 minutes or sooner. Because if you get the first dragon, you'll probably get the second dragon, and you'll be stacked by 18 minutes, meaning you don't have to stack anymore. Stack early, stack strong. If you don't get any of those stacks, stop farming the jungle and start ganking.
Yep.
Sell your damn item. Don't sell it, just don't stack it. Ability toggling. Aatrox's blood, lust, thirst, blood price, vorpal spikes, and switcheroo. Toggle abilities will no longer use effect and can now be switched while under the effects of crowd control. Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't think that's anything. Can we just skip champion resizing? They're making.
We're not gonna talk about all of them. We're just gonna mention it's happening. So champion resizing is happening right now. Some champions will get bigger, which are some champions that were meant to get bigger. Some champions are going to get a little bit bigger, and then some champions are going to get smaller, and some of them I think are interesting. So all these champions are going to get 5% smaller. There's a lot of them, and they're already pretty small characters, most of them. And then some other champions are going 10% smaller. Can you imagine a 10% smaller Lucian or Heimerdinger or Fizz? I mean, it's Cottontail Fizz. It's mostly some of these are skins, for sure, because the skins weren't all the same size and they weren't reading well. So a lot of this is just some scaling stuff. So be prepared for scaling changes on a champion you may or may not play. This probably will just match their hitboxes.
Yeah, so if you hit them, it'll actually hit them, basically.
Or if you did hit them and it didn't look like you hit them.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've like dodged an Illaoi spear and I thought that it hit me.
Oh my
And
god!
I'm gonna guess it was like on all of these champions.
It probably was. Yeah, it most likely was. So now we're on to items. Items are seeing some changes. The Hunter's Talisman is crap. Don't buy it as your first item in the jungle. Its burn damage is increasing to 25 up from 20.
Still wouldn't buy it.
Still wouldn't buy it. It's pretty crap. Refillable potion healing per charge is actually going to go up. Whoa, bump that. To 125 instead of 100. And the duration will last for 12 seconds instead of 10. It just needs to be a little bit higher, which now it is, to make it a little bit better. It just was a little bit not as good for how much you spent on it at the first start of the game. So small change to it. Next is Rageblade. I know a lot of people have complaints about how quote-unquote strong this item is, and yes, it's much better than it used to be. The nerf we'll see this patch is it's going to have an increase in price by 300. Now, I know that isn't a actual stat nerf, but 300 gold means that the spike is further behind. So that is, in fact, a nerf.
I haven't seen that item be successful on anyone but Jax. And the
and
Jax
Kale.
just got retarded out of control way too quickly, and
Yeah.
it was just the fact that my solo lanes were bad, but
Kale also uses it really well too.
I haven't seen Kale with it, but I haven't seen Kale since the new patch
Kale's
came out.
really good this right now. Really good.
Really?
Really good. So yeah, so small change to it. I don't think, particularly it's not being picked up quite so early because 300 gold will slow it down. So yes, this is a nerf. I know it's not a number nerf, but I think outside of it, I think it's actually okay. So,
Was 300 gold like 12 minions, 13 minions?
well, I mean that, but that's
So you're talking 2 waves. So you're talking what?
another
A minute
minute and a half.
if you perfect CS.
Yeah. So I mean, it slows it down. So, the next thing that's getting changed that I didn't really hear too many people complain about, but people talked roughly about, is Static Shiv is getting a nerf against champions, but a buff against minions to make up. So the damage difference, instead of it being 50 to 150, scaling through those levels 1 to 18, it's going to be 300 or 30 to 100 from levels 1 to 18. Damage against minions is going to go up though to 75%. So it's going to work better for what it's meant for, which is actually, actual clear, because it's a good split pushing item. Is
Yeah.
one of the really good things about it.
I actually haven't seen Phantom Dancer, I don't think, since
Ooh, I have. It's
the
so good.
Shiv has been reworked.
Oh no, Phantom's really good.
Well, I know, but I just haven't seen it because people always build static second. Well, most people, I guess,
A lot of
build
people
static
do.
build static second, and so it's just like
New
the
Phantom's
games
way
don't
awesome.
the games don't last long enough to
Okay.
reach your second crit item.
No, I agree. I agree.
So
I agree. The new Phantom's good. And Home Guard enchantment is being removed as a purchasable item. Now listen, purchasable item. That means we're going to be getting more of this down below. Let's talk about that, right? Is that next? It's coming up in a second. We'll get to it in a second. We'll get to it in a second. All right, Rift Herald. Base damage is actually being decreased, and his current health on hit is going to go down from 6% to 4%. He actually hurts a little bit too much in some cases. Has new Voidy spawn icon or animation. Also has new Voidy death animation. So small changes to him, kind of making him weaker. A lot of
life changes.
teams just mostly ignore him until there's nothing to do, and then they kill him. Death timers. Now this is another thing that kind of was a problem. So death timers are longer in the early phases, but shorter in the late game. So
Wait,
death
what?
timer scaling 2% every 30 seconds for 35 minutes is now going to be 0.5% every 30 seconds after 10 minutes.
I actually hate that because isn't that just going to speed the game up even more? Because the people who get behind are going to be out of lane even longer. Like I know it's probably not going to be a huge difference, but it's still going to be a thing, you know? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so after 10 minutes, your death timers are higher on average. After 10 minutes.
Oh, well, the game's already over by 10 minutes, so
yeah,
that's
so
fine.
maybe this will fix that.
We'll see.
But then after 43 minutes, they will be slightly shorter. So, although
Games don't
honestly,
last that
if
long.
you've made it to a game and you've gone to 43 minutes, then I think
You have a fun game.
no. Well, no, I think you actually need longer death timers because obviously nobody's shown that they can actually win.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like having a longer death timer is good. Yeah. Yeah.
Global harm guards.
Yeah. So the next thing is the global home guard. So everybody will be getting home guard. That kind of makes up for the death timer thing, though, once you get to 20. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So global home guard. Everybody will be getting home guard starting at 20 minutes. All champions receive home guard buff when they return to the fountain at 20 minutes. Everybody gets it. Initial hustle, instead of it being 200%, it's only going to be 175, so a little bit taken off. Healing and mana per tick, instead of it being 35 health and mana, it's going to be 12%, so it'll heal you fast, but not quite as fast. Combat lockout duration is actually going to be increased to 8 seconds, up from 6. Damaging enemies over 5,000 range away or outside base, roughly speaking, no longer triggers home guard's combat lockout. So it's like a nerfed home guard, but everybody's going to get home guard for free at 20 minutes.
Which kind of sucks that they nerf the health regen.
Yeah,
because
that's
that's
actually
like one of the
why I bought it.
yeah, that's like the only reason that I bought it.
I don't want to stand at base. I want to run out of base with all my health immediately. But I think it's cool that we'll have options to buy new boot enchantments.
Yes.
And I'll get home guard right away, which means I actually probably won't buy boot enchantments right away. Because, I mean, I might. We'll see. We'll see how good the boot enchantments are, since I usually don't buy too many of the other ones. So.
Or any of the other ones.
Yeah, typically. Turrets. Turrets on the outer turrets and inner turrets health have been increased by 500. So this was one of the other things that was speeding up games. Really, really easy to kill through turrets. They had more health on them, but they had no more resistances. If you're gonna do that, you have to add more. You have to add even more health to them because it was so easy to get through turrets. You could push waves so fast. So Now, here's the question. With the slightly increase in death timers, is that going to matter, this 500 health?
No. Well, the big thing is it's just so easy. Like the early game 80 carry items just basically came at a little bit sooner of a point, and you could just chew through turrets because they don't have any armor. And so I don't think that like 500 health is going to be like what, 6 autos, 7 autos,
Something like that.
and so it's just like
Not
all
a
right.
big deal. Yeah, it's there, but it's like, meh.
That's like what, like
Meh.
15 seconds of hitting it for one person, if that, less than that,
Less than that.
10
Way
seconds.
less than that. Yeah.
So it's just like to me, it's not that big of a deal. I think that they need to put back some of at least the armor on because everybody autos.
Yeah.
So I think they need to put some of the armor back on.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. We'll see, though.
It's too easy to just rampaggio
Yep.
the turrets right now.
Yep. Next is the jungle. Magic resist. Majorly being reduced.
Well, by 5.
No, by...
It's -10 to -15.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's being reduced on all the camps. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Sentinel, movement speed being decreased. And same with Red. Red's going to have a movement speed decrease too. So you can kind of actually leash them a little harder. Which is weird because out of all the places in the game, I think the junglers are freaking living in it. Well, not everybody saw my vibe build. I can tell by the views it has on it. But if you saw my vibe build, I'm probably going to focus on some junglers for a little bit because I think junglers are being overlooked in the preseason. I think they have an amazing shot right now to do some crazy stuff. So, yeah.
Well, what I
just
hate
make
is
it easier.
they're decreasing the magic resist on these minions, but like that doesn't really do anything because like it does, but I hate the fact that you still build Sheen into Runeclave because
Yes.
Sheen no longer gives AP. So
Why does it need to be Sheen? Because it's just the proc effect. Because you could just have that without Sheen. I don't know.
like make it be like that. What is it? The Asper Wisp or whatever it is, like
Asperger's.
Asper Wisp.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Wisp.
The Wisp or
I
whatever.
don't know what it's
Make
called.
it build out of that,
Yeah.
and then have it do the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't like mage junglers right now. Like I love Diana, but I don't like mage junglers.
Yeah, there's not too many other ones, honestly. Elise. I mean.
Yeah, that's true. You build Runeclave on Elise. I haven't played Elise in like
yeah, I do.
2 seasons.
All right. Next is Smite. And Smite is seeing some changes in this patch. First off, Smite charges 5 seconds earlier.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's a good change. Makes sense.
Because you could actually clear 3 camps and get
Before-
through red and not have your second smite up.
Yeah, I was getting really close on a couple of those.
So
Yeah.
this is a good change.
Yeah. Somebody said Vi jungle's bad. I'm currently laughing super hard on the inside.
And it's at you. It's not with you.
It's not with you. She's so strong
So
right now. It's
good.
unbelievable.
Go.
Ambient Gold is changing. It begins at 2 minutes rather than at a minute 55. What? Okay.
All right.
Champion kills. All right, so experience for kills. 60% of a full level for killing an equal level champion is now going to be 50% of a full level for killing an equal level champion. This is one of the things they really, really need to tweak because this is one of the things that's causing snowballing to get really out of control.
Yeah.
Because if they got like 2 or 3 kills, they're having an extra 30% over what it will be now. And level discrepancy was getting out of hand. And it probably still will be after this. I really hope this fixes a handful of it. I'm level 13 and they're level 18 situation averages. At one point, at level 14, or was I 15? 14 or 15 the other day on Quinn, and I was having a good game. The enemy bot lane was 7 levels behind me at 20 minutes. That shouldn't be possible. Like, the stat difference and the amount of more damage I have base through my abilities is out of control. So, hopefully this 10% fixes a little bit of that, but snowballing was stupid. And that's one of the things I was complaining about the most when I was playing. One of the things. The other thing was the next change, which is unit collision.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
Oh, it was the worst. Everybody saw me yelling at it a couple times when I was streaming the other day because I was getting stuck on minions. I was having to flash to get away, or I would like run up to get a kill and I just start bouncing around in between minions. Getting
Give it one of these
yeah,
numbers?
like a wobble going on, and I don't want to wobble. So the changes are, instead of minion buffer being 15% model size, it's going to go up by 5% to 20%, but there's no longer a champion collision buffer. So that 15% there is no longer there. So overall, we're getting 10% more space back. Hopefully that makes unit collision feel much, much better because, like, seriously, this patch, it is terrible. Just absolutely terrible. Like, so bad. So, yes.
Good change.
So the another mildly big change is they talked about the minion pushing. They covered this in 5.22. We talked about it briefly. These changes won't be turned on immediately in this patch, 5.23, but they're going to be
Rolling them out.
Yeah, they're going to be rolling it out, apparently. So the average level of your team minus the average level of the enemy team, now total levels, and not necessarily clean numbers. Max team level advantage is 3. So while your team has a level advantage, your minions deal bonus damage to enemy minions equal to 5 plus 5% per turret advantage in their lane, all multiplied by your team's level advantage.
This looks like math homework. This is confusing.
So
I was promised there would be no math.
There's math, Kyle. Kyle, there's math. So much math. So basically, while your team has a level advantage, your minions take reduced damage from enemy minions equals to 1 plus 1 per turret advantage in their lane, with the turret advantage bonus multiplied by the team's level advantage. So damage reduction equals 1 plus level, blah, blah, blah. So do you just want me to summarize? I'm just going to summarize.
Yep.
So summarization from the way it looks is, so when you have a level advantage and a turret advantage, your minions will push more, right? Is that the way it sounds? So I know that this sounds
counterproductive.
Yes.
But it's not, because then the people who are ahead can't freeze
yes
the lane near their turret and basically just starve you of everything.
In theory, it will help them push a little bit, but it brings you the wave to farm and get your levels back instead of them camping a lane super hard and you running away or running out and you can't get any of it. So like they said, they're gonna monitor to see how this system actually works and how this works out. Because I think if you manage a wave still really well, you'll still be able to sit on it fairly well. Eventually they do flip because it'll eventually crash if you don't. But I think if you're really good, you can still manipulate against this. But if you're not and you're behind, I think people who don't manage waves well, which is seriously 95% of people in League of Legends, if not maybe even higher than that, it's going to help out the people who are actually further behind. I know it's weird. That's how it works.
I like the fact that they're trying to solve this problem, but I don't think this is the way to do it. They need to give the minions more damage the closer it gets to your turret. Because that way, once it reaches that mid lane point, like that midpoint, they will even out. If that makes sense, because right now what this is doing is the team's ahead and their minions are going to do more damage. So basically what this is promoting is for top lane and jungle to gank bottom or flank bottom again once the turret is gone, or like once you have a huge advantage, and then you can just rampagio through these turrets again. So it's actually going to speed the games up. I like the idea of what's going to happen, but I think they need to manipulate the system so they'll do more damage if they're close. The closer they are to your turret, the more damage they'll do.
Yep.
That's how I think you should fix it. But
I'm still interested to see how this works out, because this could work, but like you said, I'm not positive on how it will work out. So
lots of numbers.
Masteries changes. Bond of Stone, damage reduction while alone is being reduced.
That was pretty dumb.
Thunder Lord's Decree.
That was dumb too.
Cooldown now 20 seconds to 30. Perseverance. Fixed a bug where the tooltip said 200% regeneration kicked in at 20% when it was actually 25%. So
gotcha. All right,
so a little bug fixy there. Promo.
What's a promo helper? I haven't even heard of that. Demotions, why promo helper win credits?
From bronze through gold 2, failing a series will get you a win credit that'll apply towards your next attempt at the series. provided that you get back in. If
So
you
basically,
ever
if you
did
fail
not
your
get-
promos twice, you go into it with 2 wins.
So
That
if you
is
basically
so dumb.
if you basically keep getting up to your promo and you keep losing, you'll eventually just start getting gifted free wins, right?
Oh, wait, but yeah.
So basically,
So basically, if you fail your promos twice and then get back into it, you'll get 2 wins. If you fail it the third time, do you get 3 wins the next time you get back? Because that would
No.
be retarded.
no, I don't. This is
That's what it's
stupid.
saying. That is
Yeah.
what it's saying.
Promo helper only applies to those in a division below Gold 1. The same point where rank decay begins. If you lose a promotional series, your next attempt at that series will start with a win credit. Can stack twice per tier.
Oh, twice.
Demotion wipes promo helper win credits. Promo helper always grants max. Well, of course it would. Of course it would. Demotion would wipe them. They're just saying it only works in non-demotional areas. Promo helper always grants max win credits for any series you've previously passed. All promo helper bonuses will be reset at the beginning of 2016. Who cares? Rank sucks.
Whoa, I love ranked League of Legends. It is quality time with my friends. I got nothing.
It was a good
I'm
one.
done.
Chat
I tried. I'm sorry,
you,
League.
You did try. It was good. It made me laugh.
I gave it my best effort.
Oh man. So I guess if you don't like ranked because of ranked anxiety, I guess it might help. But giant, who cares? Conversations between individual friends are now saved server side, up to 100 messages per conversation, expiring after 10 days. That's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
Server side item sets. That's right. Now your Ivers will be server side. Okay. Good.
All right.
HUD icon bug. We're
Wait,
aware.
people still use item sets?
I tweak them occasionally, but I don't make like tons.
Alright.
There's no real reason. So, heads up, we're aware of a visual bug for the HUD in 523, where the options, camera settings, mute, and DJ Sony music toggle icons will not show us on black squares. This doesn't impact the functionality except for DJ Sony toggle. We'll fix this in 524.
Whole lot of we'll do this later in this patch.
That's how it works most of the time. When you patch every 2 weeks, you can do the we'll fix this later.
Can you?
Well, they say they do.
All right.
Alright. Fixed a number of broken interactions between the summoner spell cooldown. Cool. Ricochet now continues bouncing through new targets after Sever dies. Thank you. Restored on-hit particles, Zax's W, unstable matter, flashing towards immediately after casting Syndra's E. Scatter the Weak no longer changes the cone area of effect. And Fiora's W now probably blocks vision, granting effects and abilities such... Okay, cool. Thresh can once again purchase Renon's Hurricane. Good. Who cares? Valor can no longer purchase Tiamat. Oh, yeah, because... Yeah. Or its upgrades. Sorry. That makes sense,
Queen.
though. Upcoming skins!
Yo, Dragon Trainer Tristana. Oh my god.
Is that all you've ever wanted in your life? And now
No,
two?
I'm kind of disappointed because Tristana already has a legendary skin. But yo, I'll take it. Because I'm a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon. Like, let's be real. Everybody who says that that's a kid movie, you can go fuck yourself because that's a great movie. And I'm super pumped for this skin.
Whoa! It looks
right
good.
there.
Yeah, it looks good. I agree. Here, I'll click on it. I'll get my clickies on.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh my god.
Then look how excited they are. Look at their little faces. Oh my god!
Well, they made the dragon look exactly like the dragon in
Yeah, they did.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon. So.
Yeah, cool. And then Gravelord Azir, I think he looks actually kind of neat, but he has bug fixes every week, so
He looks almost too much like the first time I saw this, I thought it was Karthus.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
I thought it was just Karthus' new base splash.
Yes, it's. I think it's neat though.
But
still.
it looks cool in game.
Yeah, and it looks cool in game. Elderwood Hecarim.
Yo, Elderlord Hecarim looks like if you
Sylvanas.
cut off the horse thing, it looks like something from Attack on Titan. Not gonna lie.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, he looks neat. I've seen it in game too. It looks really tree-y.
Tree. Oh my gosh, the Blizzard fans are gonna be all up in arms because it looks like Malorn.
Something. Malagos? No, not Malagos.
Isn't it Malorn or Malorn?
I don't know. Something.
Malorn.
I,
The like unicorn forest thing
you
from
know more Blizzardy
from
stuff
Hearthstone.
than me.
It's from Hearthstone. It's a druid legendary. Or yeah, Centaurus.
I don't play.
Cenarius.
I don't play Druid.
You should still see the card before.
I'm a scumbag hunter.
All right, yeah, that's true. All right.
They don't have time to. They don't have time to play cards. They're already dead.
No. They've changed it a lot. No.
I know. I haven't played it actually since the expansion.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Is it?
Yeah, they slowed down the game a bunch.
Oh well, that's terrible for me.
Well, not a bunch, but all right. Let's get back on.
Then the next changes are there's a new Braum, Gragis, Rez, and Variz skins.
You can take it away because you know my stance on group skins.
So Kyle loves group skins. Kyle hates group skins. I do think these are interesting, but I want to see how the Braum one looks, personally. I don't care about the rest, honestly. I don't know. Rise is weird now, and I have Blighted Varys, because Riot gave it to me because I'm not toxic, apparently. So, we'll see. We'll see. But we know that Kyle hates him. Kyle hates him because he's a hater, and we know what they do. They hate. You just gotta shake it off.
What are you talking about?
Look at the Sunrise patch notes with the Taylor Swift song.
I am definitely not a hater.
Isn't your nickname PJ Salt?
Nah, it's Sodium High. Sodium the Sodium Overdrive.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
I got nothing.
I know you do. But that is the patch notes. They're not obviously as long as the previous patch. That would be ludicrous because.
And we would stop doing patch notes eventually because that was like 3 hour long.
Yeah. But if you did, guys, wow, good word has been good. But if you did make it to the end of the video, we obviously love you more. Just how it works. And if you leave us a like, we love you like we actually get slightly hard because of it. But was that too far? Did I take it too far?
Well, I have to be honest. I'm not going to be here next patch because I was promised there would be no math in this patch, and there was. So.
Oh, well, damn. Now looking for fill-ins. If you're available, hit me up on Twitter. But yes, that's the patch. That's what's up. Leave us a like if you would. We'd love it. And thank you for joining us. I might be streaming tonight after this patch after I make some dinner. Hoi. So this will be live too, obviously immediately after. If you did just catch the end of it, you can always rewind it, or this will be live immediately after. But I might be streaming just a little bit tonight because I think tonight might be my only night I might be available this week to stream because I'm busy. But yes.
And just so you guys know, if you came a little bit late, Badger did the free champions picks at the beginning of this video.
Yes. So, yes, that would be great. So I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Have fun on the next patch. Maybe I'll see you tonight in a little bit of a stream very soon. And yes, we do that. And we'll see all you guys later.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.